Hi guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Now, I had a comment on the previous video when I did the Championship, and some guy said, are you going to do League 1 and League 2? And I've noticed that I haven't really done the League 1 or the League 2 sort of score predictions or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now is look back over the weekend at League 1 and League 2 and see what actually went on and how the season started, and then remember going forward from Saturday to do the reviews and the previews for them. So, in League 1, let's have a look. AFC Wimbledon 4, Plymouth 4. Now, it's an 8-goal thriller there. Quality from both sides. I think you've got to look at that and say that AFC Wimbledon at the start of the season, a lot of people thought were going to be conceding a lot of goals, losing a lot of games, and okay, they might have conceded 4, but they've scored 4 as well. So that's actually a really high scoring draw. For Plymouth, that's a pretty interesting result as well. We'll come onto the table at the end of this. So the next result here is Blackpool 2, Swindon Town nil. Obviously, Swindon got off to a great start with their win last week. Unfortunately, they couldn't get their second win there. For Blackpool, it's a really good result. At home, you know, one of the teams that have come up from League 2 and have done pretty well. So that's a really good and a solid win there for Blackpool, who are signing a few players as well. So they'll be an interesting team to watch this season. Bristol Rovers 0, Ipswich Town 2. Perfect for Ipswich, you know. There's a lot of pressure on them this season. There was last year, but as they didn't get up, obviously there's a lot more pressure this season. So I think it's really important for them to keep their momentum going, and that's a really good away win for them. For Bristol Rovers, it's not the best result, but I'm sure they'll be okay. So Burton Albion 2, Accrington Stanley 1. Now Accrington were the sort of surprise team of last season. They did a hell of a lot better than a lot of people thought. Burton Albion, they're a bit of an odd side. Not always, you know, if you're going to put them on your ACCAs, you're not so sure home or away. But they've got a good win there against Accrington, and like I said, we'll come onto the table at the end. Charlton Athletic 1, Doncaster 3. Now that's a seriously good result and a seriously bad result. A seriously good result for Doncaster, who, you know, are going to be another one of those surprise package teams. You know, they've always sort of been up and around the top 10, so I can see them getting up there again. For Charlton, obviously, they're one of the, you know, pre-season favourites, so that sort of defeat isn't great, but it's only 2 games in. Hull City 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. So for Hull, another really good win and a clean sheet. 1-0 home win. Again, a lot of people were saying before the season started that Hull had lost a lot of their players, so they weren't going to be as sort of strong as they can be, but I think this is a really, really good result for them. And yeah, I think for Hull it's certainly looking good. For Crewe, obviously they've just come up, so it's not the best result for them, but they can understand it. MK Dons 1, Lincoln City 2. Now Lincoln have started really well this season. You know, they've gone through in the League Cup. They've got I think 2 wins in the league now. Yep. So yeah, it's a very, very strong start for Lincoln City, definitely. For MK Dons, you know, it tails off from the back of last season when they were losing a lot of games. So this hasn't been the best start for them. Oxford United 0, Sunderland 2. Now, again, Oxford, who unfortunately lost in the playoff final to Wycombe, they've got a little bit of a hangover from that. They haven't been getting the results, so they lost a few of their players as well. So it could be a difficult season for them. Obviously, they've got that added pressure of Swindon being in the league as well, and obviously they'll be competing amongst themselves. As for Sunderland, I think, you know, this is another vital season for them to really sort of push into that top 2 and get out of League 1. Peterborough United 2, Fleetwood Town 1. So that's another really good home win for Posh. Again, they don't want to be in League 1. They're, you know, a side that wants to be in the Championship, have ambitions of being there. Obviously, it's very difficult at the moment without the fans there, but that's a really good and positive result going forward for Peterborough. For Fleetwood Town, it's probably not the best, but it's only 2 games in. Shrewsbury Town 1, Northampton Town 2. A really good away win for Northampton in front of the 1,000 supporters that were there, are allowed into the games, obviously at Charlton as well. I think, that's a really good, outstanding result. Northampton obviously being promoted last year from League 2. They've done really well. And yeah, it's a really good result for them. For Shrewsbury, it's not the best result, but again, we are early on in this campaign. And Wigan 2, Gillingham 3. Now, Wigan were in front in this game. So to go, for Gillingham to turn this around, it's really good for them. But for Wigan, it's not the best result or the outcome for them. And obviously, there was the other game between Rochdale and Portsmouth, which finished 0-0. As I said in the Championship video, 0-0. Not a lot you can say about a 0-0 draw. So, guys, looking at the table and how it reads, in first is Ipswich, played 2, 6 points. Hull City and Lincoln City also second and third on 6 points. Then there's the batch of teams on 4 points. Those are Doncaster, Sunderland, Plymouth, Northampton. And then there's a whole host of teams on 3 points, which is Accrington, Stanley, Blackpool, Burton, Charlton, Fleetwood, Swindon, Gillingham and Peterborough, respectively. And then there's two teams on 2 points, which is Wimbledon and Portsmouth. Then 1 point, we have MK Dons, Shrewsbury and Bristol Rovers. In the relegation zone, Rochdale on 1 point. And then there's the 3 teams yet to get off to a win, and those are Wigan Athletic, Crewe Alexandra and Oxford United. So that's how League One looks. So we flip this wonderful thing called a newspaper over, and it takes us to League Two. Cheers. Nice. So, League Two. Carlisle United 2, Southend 0. And that was in front of 1,000 supporters. So, that's a really good home win, that, for Carlisle. Obviously, they had a lot of problems a few years back with the floods and everything. But obviously, in League Two, a lot of teams are suffering financially. So that 1,000 fans will at least have hopefully helped a little bit, as some random noise in my bathroom. I live on my own, so it's a bit worrying when you hear that. So yeah, for Southend, it's another unfortunate defeat for them. Colchester 2, Bolton Wanderers 0. Colchester, it's a cracking win for them. Bolton are obviously the pre-season favourites to win this league, and I thought they were going to storm to this league. But that's, for Bolton, that's 2 games and 2 defeats now, so a little bit worrying, but I'm sure they'll get round it somehow and come back stronger. Crawley Town 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Now, it's an interesting game, this. Crawley have won at home. It's a clean sheet as well for them, which is great for Scunthorpe. It's not the best result. A lot of people saw them going there and winning, but they didn't get that result that they wanted. So, not brilliant. So, Exeter City 0, Port Vale 2. Now, Exeter, another one of those pre-season favourites for the title, losing at home to Port Vale. A good 2-0 win away for Port Vale. They've actually had a really good start to the season, and they're going to certainly be up there and challenging. Forest Green Rovers 2, Bradford City 2. So, another team that surprised people, Forest Green. A lot of people in predictions I saw didn't really have them that high up, but they've started quite well, and that's a really solid draw at home against Bradford, another one of the favourites to be up there or thereabouts, challenging for promotion, whether that's playoffs, second or third or first or whatever it is, certainly going to be up there. But for Bradford, that's an interesting draw, but they would have liked to have come away with the win. Next one, Grimsbytown 0, Salford City 4. Now for Salford, that's a fantastic result. Again, a lot of people have predicted Salford to do very well this season. I think they will. That's a really solid 4-0 away win. If you're going to win away from home, you want to do it comfortably, and that's a really good result for them. For Grimsby, not so much. Harrogate Town 2, Walsall 2. Now, obviously, Harrogate are playing at Doncaster's Keepmoat Stadium at the moment, so that's an interesting development. But that's not a bad result for either side, and it keeps them ticking along in the points. Leyton Orient 2, Mansfield Town 2. Two sides which have got the capability of being in the top half of League 2 this season. Mansfield have obviously got a decent away draw there. They'll want to be picking the points up at home as well. Morecambe 0, Cambridge United 5. Cambridge have started this season very strongly. Very, very strongly. And so another really good win for them. For Morecambe, it's a little bit worrying, but I'm sure they'll bounce back. But losing 5-0 at home, if I stop yawning, is not the best. Newport County 2, Barrow 1. Now, newly promoted Barrow have done quite well. They've got a lot of respect for the last first few games they've played this season, even in the Cup. And obviously they've scored here, but obviously Newport were just a little bit too strong for them and scored 2-1. Newport, I think, again, they're going to have a good season. They're a decent side, and keep an eye on them as well. Stevenage 3, Oldham 0. Now, this is probably my surprise result of the weekend in League 2, because Stevenage were not predicted to do very well after last season, just basically not even surviving. They were relegated and then unrelegated. So, yeah, you can feel some a grievance from a lot of people, but they've got another good win for them. So they've got their they've got the win and the draw, so they've got 4 points. But it's interesting, and for Oldham, that's not the best result at all. And finally, Tranmere 0, Cheltenham 3. Now, this was almost my result of the weekend, because obviously Cheltenham had done so well last year, and Tranmere were predicted to do extremely well, but hasn't turned out that way, and Tranmere have found themselves losing, and for Cheltenham it's a really, really good win. So let's have a look at the table, and there are two teams on 6 points. Those are Cambridge United and Port Vale, so congratulations to you two. There's then a host of teams on 4 points, which is third Harrogate Town, Salford City, Stevenage, Colchester, Forest Green, Leyton Orient, Newport and Walsall. Then there's a batch of teams on 3 points, which is Cheltenham, Carlisle, Crawley, Morecambe. And then Bradford and Mansfield are on 2 points. And then there is Scunthorpe, Exeter, Tranmere on 1 point. And Barrow, on 1 point. And then Bolton, Oldham, Grimsby and Southend are the 4 teams yet to register a point and are on 0 points. So that, guys, concludes the video. Just looking back over Leagues 1 and 2 this weekend. What I'm going to start doing from Friday is I will preview League 1, League 2 fixtures. I'll also preview the Championship like I'm doing. If you want me to do the Premier League, let me know in the comments, and I shall do that. I'll do the review videos for Leagues 1, 2 and the Championship as well, going through the season. So yes, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and please let me know in the comments which team you support in Leagues 1 and 2, and let me know what you'd like to see going forward. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Cheers. Take care.